Hello everyone. In the previous video, we actually saw how a potentiometer works like a variable resistor. This time we are going to use the potentiometer as a voltage divider. So let us understand the voltage divider part. All right, we saw this circuit in the previous session. I told you that if I use only two of the terminals, that is one of the terminal out of terminal 1 and 2 and one wiper. If I use it this way and I do not use the third terminal, this potentiometer works as a variable resistance. But if I connect the third to the other part of the battery, that means one of the variable resistance terminal is actually connected to the positive over here, and the second part is connected to the battery, sorry, to the negative of the battery. So this is the negative of the battery, right? So if I use it this way, this becomes a voltage divider. So how does it become a voltage divider? What is actually a voltage divider? A voltage divider basically is something where we have a resistance. So this is one resistance, this is second resistance, and this one part of the resistance is actually connected to the positive of the battery. Okay, and the second part is connected to the negative of the battery. All right, and if I check out the voltage from here between this part, that is in between the two resistances, and the negative part or the positive part, hardly matters where. So this is going to divide the voltage between the. All right, so the division actually means division would be actually dependent on what is the value of the resistances over there. You have done the calculations. We did the calculation. We took this as R1 and we took the second part as R2 and so on and so forth. We did the calculations also. And we did the calculations on the variable resistance. You see that if I just take this part from here, if I just take this part from here, can you not see that one of above the wiper is one part of the resistance? That is this part of the part above it. Okay, the part above is one resistance. The part below is another resistance. And what is the wiper doing? Wiper is actually changing the resistances of the top and the bottom. Now, for example, if it is in the middle of this particular of this particular resistance, and the total resistance is 400k. If it is in the middle, don't you think the upper resistance is going to be 200k and the lower resistance is going to be 200k? So that means now the voltage would be divided equally between the two. All right. So suppose this voltage, this was around 9 volts, and there is a voltage drop of 1 volt because of this resistor. What is the balance? We have 8 volts as balance. So 8 volt will be divided into 2, that is 4k and 4k, 4 volts and 4 volts. Okay, so 4 plus 4 and plus 1 is actually 9 volts, which is actually the voltage of the battery. Now, this 4 volts and 4 volts is the voltage system when this potentiometer is the wiper is exactly in the middle. Let's say it is not in the middle. Let's say it is somewhere here, which is at 25% level. What is going to happen? It is going to This is going to change the voltage now. The voltage division is going to change. So what voltage that I'm going to get here is going to be different, and that will be according to the position of the wiper. That is according to the position of the wiper. Now I will explain the same thing on in Tinkercad. So let us learn that. The only difference between the previous system and the new system is going to be that this is connected to the, that means both the terminals of the potentiometer are actually connected. So what is going to happen now? This is now going to work as a as the voltage divider now. So how does the voltage divider work? So it works similarly to that. Okay, it works similarly to that, except that you must have seen that in the previous program, when the wiper was at this level, the LED actually went off. Now it is not going to go off as easily now. What is going to happen is that the wiper, the voltage on the wiper is actually going to change according to the wiper positions. Alright. Let me show it to you on a multimeter. Let me show it to you on a multimeter. Let's bring in a multimeter here, and let's see the potential difference between the wiper and the positive. So let us see. It is set on voltage. So let us see. It is showing 1.88 volts at the moment, and if I bring it over here, it is 0 volts. So you can see that what the maximum voltage that it is actually getting is 1.88 volts, although we have a 4.5 volts battery, but this resistance has actually dropped down the voltage to 1.88 volts, no problem. So let it be 1.88 volts. So what happens now when the wiper is in the middle position? So this is 1.88. So what is the half of 1.88? Is going to be, so the voltage is going to be, say, 1.8, it is zero point 0.9. So you can see that uh, at the extreme position here, we are, the two resistances that we are actually making is one is 0 volt and one is bigger voltage. Okay, what is the actual? This is a 250K resistor. So this, you can see that now this is 0 volts. Why? Because it is at the extreme end now. So it is giving you a 0 volt. 0 volt actually means these two terminals are connected to each other now. We can see that wiper and terminal 2 are connected to each other because the wiper is at the extreme right end. But if I bring it to extreme left end, it is now getting the actual voltage that is coming from the battery through this resistance. So if you connect both ends of the terminals to the battery, to the positive and the negative, and the wiper to the load, then it works. Then your potentiometer works as a voltage divider. But if you do not connect, if you remove this, if I remove this part, then it works like a variable resistance. I hope this is clear to you, both of them. How can we use a potentiometer as a variable resistor or as a voltage divider? If you have any problems, please write down your questions in the comments. And if you have suggestions, that something that you have not been able to understand on your own, maybe when you're working on in Arduino or wherever, then please let me know in the comments below. Thank you and have a nice day.